ready? I think you're ready for Quest 93.1 FM.
The home is where characters are made. The home is where the family that is the very nucleus of the country resides. The home should always have understanding. Yes, tranquility. They bring the best of both partners. The home should possess peace, happiness, love and progress so that the children that grows in them will turn out to be good leaders of tomorrow. So, welcome to Mending Homes with Michael Ray.
Trade your expectations for appreciation and your whole world changes in an instant. And with that true quote from Tony Robbins, brings us to another lovely edition of Mending Home right here on Quest. As always, my name is Michael Riley. Now, we do know Mending Home is centered more on serious relationship, marriage, and family life issues. And in every edition, we tend to talk about these issues, and we'll see how we can do well in on them and make them better. And that's what we tend to do on Mending Homes. And we don't just talk about the issues all alone. We tend to always have a resource person. It could be one or two. Or we could join anyone anywhere in the world just to talk about these issues and see how we can find solutions to them. But all the same, I just want to welcome you to Mending Home right here on Quest 93.1. And you also do know I always insist that in the next an hour or so, I'll call your friends, your family, your neighbors, and tell them, well, Mending Home seems to be on, and we're on with it. Now, according to the Advanced Learner's Dictionary on appreciation is a lack of appreciation for a quality or value of something. And when you bring that into a relationship and marriage, feeling unappreciated can be very hurtful. Why are some partners unappreciative? Does this not cause bitterness and psychological trauma to the other partner? Honestly, many will say no matter what you do for some persons, they can never be grateful. But should your partner not show a sign of appreciation, how come is this, and how common is this in most marriages? And has unappreciation not caused former willing spouse or partner to become persons that now refuse to give more into the marriage? Is a question. Yes, how dangerous is this to the well-being of a healthy marriage? Well, this is what we'll be discussing on today's edition of Mending Home. And yes, the topic for today is living with an unappreciative partner. Living with an unappreciative partner. Well, many will say it's like a living hell, but that is true. But we'll be talking about it and finding a means for you to live with them. And if any way you can change them, well, many will say you hardly change people. But if there's any means of changing them, we'll be finding those solutions in helping you out. And like I said, living with an unappreciative partner is what we'll be dealing with on today's edition of Mending Home. And you know, we always do or take it a step further in bringing good resource persons that can help us deliver in on actually having an awesome edition. And that's what we'll be doing today, to have two lovely guests. They've joined me on a different edition, and well, they've always been, reactions have sometimes been mind-blowing, but all the same, they're right here and joining me. And well, it's always an honor and a gentleman attitude to introduce the lady first. And she's no other person but Mrs. Franca Davis. Good morning to you, madam.
Good morning to
Okay.
you, Ray. Good morning to our listeners.
Okay. And well, he was in one of our first editions early this year, and well, the reactions we got was really massive, so we had to drag him down again from Warrior and have him join us at today's edition. And I'm talking of no other person, but well, should I put Pastor? Well, anyways, Pastor Mark Wangwa, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Michael, and good morning, listeners.
Well, it's indeed a good morning, but I know happy feeling for most couples that seem to be going through all of this, because many will say it's a painful reality when you have to stay with an unappreciative partner. But it's only right if we really let people understand what we are talking about, because some look at it as if it's just a term. So let me come with you, madam. Now, when we say partner is unappreciative, what do we really mean?
Well, an appreciative partner is a person who sees only the wrong or the weakness or imperfection of his or her husband. You know, there is nothing you will do that such a person will appreciate, because there is a mental picture that the person is having that my husband is not the best, nor my wife is not the best.
Okay. Okay, well, an easy definition you want to say. But let me come to you now, Pastor Michael, and ask you a similar question. When you say a partner is really unappreciative, what do you truly mean?
Okay, I think being unappreciative is not valuing the partner or what they do. Not valuing the partner or what they do. And then it could come in different ways. One, by not noticing the person's efforts. So if I don't notice your efforts, I'm unappreciative. By ignoring the good things that they do. If I ignore the good things you do, the positive things you do, then I'm unappreciative. Then number three, by criticizing the tiniest of faults. So you have partners who, they don't commend you, but they criticize you at every opportunity they have. So that's what we call an unappreciative partner. So we all have the capacity to be unappreciative.
We all do.
We all do. And then most times we don't even know when we are being unappreciative. Depends on the other person to define for us.
Wow. Okay. Well, talking about someone really defining it for us, but why are some partners very unappreciative?
Okay, I would say there are different reasons. One, maybe their background. Some people grew up in an environment where it was normal. They weren't appreciated as kids. Okay, maybe they were told terrible words. They were run down. And so when they grow up, you can only give what you have, or you can only express what you've been used to. So that's one, background. Number two, exposure. How exposed are we? Because yeah, you may have a terrible background, but your exposure, the kind of people you meet, the kind of things you hear, your associations, they determine how you become. If you have a group of friends who say, forget it, how will you appreciate, tell your wife thank you, I heard good as well. You know, once you have those kind of people, it begins to affect you. Then three, the people may probably have been hurt
before
in the past, yes, or they were let down, so they cross out the possibility of that partner bringing out any good thing. Okay, so those three things basically, you know, you may have hurt them, they may not be exposed adequately, or they may have had a terrible background. So
okay, well, madam, let me come to you and ask you that same question I asked him. Why are really some partners really unappreciative in your own view?
Just like what my brother said, I'll add up that sometimes ego also contributes to that.
Ego?
The person feels that why must it be you that will do this or that for me? And sometimes low self-esteem can also contribute. That, like what he said, I have suffered all my life. I never think anybody can do me good. So when you tend to do good to such people, they don't see that good. All they see is, why must it be me? I don't deserve this. And another sensitive fact is also familiarity. When you are so familiar with someone, your partner, you think you know him so much. I know his weakness, I know his strengths, too much than you're supposed to. I think you lose respect for the person. So in that process, you may unconsciously or consciously become unappreciative.
Okay, well, as much as we've said all of that and had that definition and actually explanation, now I want to ask you this. Now, if a partner or spouse is unappreciative, should you do less or give less into the marriage? Because that's one question that I've seen many persons say. Now, I've come across, let me just quickly run the story. I've come across a cousin of mine, and well, he's well blessed, and when I mean well blessed, he started having money pretty early in life, and he dated this young lady through until they got married. Now, into marriage, he buys her things, and she really wants to say thank you for them because she was so used to it. And it got to a stage he became very, very unhappy about it because he now opened a business, and she could not even use any part of that business in wanting to help out with the issues at home. So he really felt it, and he stopped. And when I mean he stopped sharing, sending her little money, whatever. And it got to her because she felt like he was now falling down on his responsibilities. She got really, really angry. But he provides every other thing at home. Yeah. But giving her one recharge card, he rarely does it. He doesn't even want to give her, not a present. And she felt like, well, it should be your duty because it started off with that kind of sense. But he stopped it entirely, and we spoke and spoke. He refused. So I'm asking, in doing this, would it not cause the other partner to now fall back on his or her shell and refuse giving anything to the marriage? Let me start with you, sir.
Okay, I think it's a delicate thing, okay? You know, somebody said, we see things not as they are, but as we are. Then secondly, we don't react based on the circumstances, but we react based on the people that we are. Yeah. You know, sometimes life will push you, you know, to make certain difficult decisions. Okay, but you should never lose your identity. That's what I think. Okay, you may be good to people, and then they don't appreciate you. They don't show you love back. Yeah. But you must never forget who you are. They shouldn't push you to lose yourself. Okay, now what you said, it happens every now and then in many homes. Yeah. I had a friend who was saying, you know, he used to buy things for his wife. So when he buys things, the wife will ask him, how much did you buy it? And when he says how much he bought it, she says, then cheat you, you know. So it happened over and over and over again until he stopped buying. He didn't want that kind of thing. So sometimes it happens. The other person, just like you said, she may have just felt, yeah, it's normal, it's his job, so why should I thank him? She may not have meant harm. Okay, but maybe if they had sat down to talk about it, looked at each other's background, maybe his own background, he came from a background where, you know, you say thank you, you appreciate people. Some people didn't grow up in those kind of homes. Some people, you just give them things, and they are like that, even as adults. You give them things, they don't tell you thank you. It's not like they are bad people, but this is how they have been groomed to become. Okay, so if that kind of thing happens, don't stop being who you are. Don't stop being the good person you are. Okay, you can have a talk with the person, have a conversation with the person. I don't believe that anybody who wants their marriage to crash, you know, like that. So you should be able to find a common ground. That's what I think. Okay,
madam, let me come back to you and ask you a similar one. Because many ladies will say, okay, well, before he comes home, I prepare his meal. And I know he might be 30 minutes late or half an hour late. And I go and show I heat it up a bit. And you put it on the table, and the first thing he says is, oh, God, there's no salt in this soup. Oh, there's no cold water seated at the place around. Oh, God, is that TV not too loud? Oh, God, why are the kids making noise? Oh, so it's like in everything he finds an excuse not to appreciate the needed thing. And he feels, well, come on, it's your responsibility. Well, yeah, well, come on, you're a wife, and definitely you should provide. Or you should rather cook, and I do the provision for the house. So what do you say? In that, many women will like, okay, rather than doing that, let me do less. Because in every way, he will still complain. So why kill myself? So I'm asking you, does this not really affect the other partner in wanting to reduce in on the effort into making the marriage or the issues work?
Thank you, Ray. The possibility of having an unappreciative partner can affect the marriage. You know, the marriage having an issue is very possible. Yeah. But I want to say that the love that exists in marriage is not just like the love we meet on the street, like with our just friends. Yeah. And so, like when Jesus was trying to demonstrate the love he has for us, he brought that between the church, the husband and the wife. You should come to the point that you love your partner unconditionally. being unappreciative is part of his or her weakness. For instance, if you were a woman, your husband is not appreciative, it's part of his weakness. You married that part of him also. And I shouldn't, like what my brother said, I don't know the reason why my husband's unappreciative attitude would change my personality. No. Honey doesn't change, it tastes. No matter how many times, you just have to tell yourself that I love this person. And let me tell you, love is a force. It's stronger than anything. And you just have to be strong. You just have to. Love is not always sweet. Marriage can't be sweet every time. So when he keeps nagging and showing you all kind of attitude, I believe there is a way you will respond instead of reacting. There is a difference between responding to situation and reacting to situation. When you give up on doing him good, that means you are reacting. But when you find a better way to see if he will like it this way, it means you are responding to his reaction.
Well, talking about that response and reactions and all of that. Now, let's come to the person that seems to be taking more of the brunt, and I'm talking of the other partner. Does this not bring bitterness to the mind of the partner, that you are giving so much to this person that you claim to love, and he loves you or she loves you, and is not showing you a needed appreciation for it? Does this not bring about bitterness and true psychological trauma to the other person?
It is when the person expects so much from the partner. Let me tell you, if you are in marriage with your husband or your wife, expect nothing. When you don't expect anything, you will hardly get hurt because you love the person unconditionally. But when you expect so much, when you get disappointed, you feel bittered on the inside. And so I don't see, when you see that this is the person's nature, don't expect it from him. He may be good in other areas, but he's not good in this way.
Just like our team in starting, trade your expectations for appreciation and your whole world will change. That's what you're saying. Okay, but you know, let's look at the other person, because I've seen many situations. They are just so bitter. When you sit down and talk to some couples, you fold your hands and wonder the bitterness that is being expressed in the mind of them. And when they keep pouring it out, imagine I gave him money for this is what he did. I gave him this is what he did. I gave him my love, this is the betrayal I received. You know, does this not transcend so much bitterness and trauma? Sir?
Okay, let's say, by all means, marry. If you marry a good wife, you enjoy yourself. If you marry a bad wife, you become a philosopher.
For life.
Okay, there's this guy that he got married, so... He had an unappreciative wife. She gave him hell at home. So at some point, he went to the cemetery and he was by the graveside of somebody and he started crying. So why did you have to die? Why did you have to die? Why did you have to die? So somebody came around and said, oh, I mean, you seem to be really hot. You must have really loved this person. Was he your brother? Was he your friend? You know, asked him, said, no, it's not my brother. It wasn't my friend. But this was the former husband of my wife. If he had not died, I would not have married this woman because she has shown me hell. She has been very, very unappreciative. So yes, people get traumatized. You know, when they are not appreciated, people get terribly traumatized. But then again, it depends on the individual. Some people may be traumatized. Some, it doesn't shake them. They are not disturbed. They become hardened. It's just like maybe your husband doesn't eat your food. You know, people react differently. Some will cry. Some women will cry. He doesn't love me anymore. He hates me. Somebody told me the other day, if he doesn't eat, he's not hungry now. Not hungry, catch him. He go chop. You understand? So that's the way. It depends on the individual. So for some people, yes, it makes them become traumatized. For some, it doesn't. They just find other ways to cope. You know. And then if you have such a partner, remember that you have a responsibility to protect your own mental health. So don't keep crying and blaming the other person. Look for a way to survive. You can turn it to humor. You can talk to him about it, or you may look for your own tolerance methods, the way you can tolerate these things and cope. Your coping mechanism, you can work on them so that things can work out right.
Well, we're talking about that change. Now, is this the reason why most people also change in marriages? Because first of all, you see a very lovey-dovey husband, and you see a wife that is always like at the back and call of her man. But over years, you seem to look at them differently. Sometimes you wonder, is it because children are now coming? But when you really critically look at the issues, they'll tell you, well, I beg you, I've done it a couple of times. What did I get as a feedback? So is this why most people also change in most marriages? Because they get an unappreciative partner and they do things differently, like you say, to take their mind off it, and sometimes to, well, save their mental health.
It's possible. Time changes a lot of things. Yeah. And then, marriage actually takes effort. Things don't happen by accident. Yeah. You need to work, just like Pastor Franca said. You go into marriage, they told us then that marriage is 50-50, but it's not 50-50. You go into marriage like you are giving 100-0, like the other person is not giving anything. Because there are some days the person may not be able to give that 50. So if you are coming with your 50, you're going to have issues.
Okay, well, just back from that short commercial break, we're still talking right here. It's still Mending Home, in case you're just joining us in the Vanessa Great Deal. We're talking about living with an unappreciative partner, and I have two lovely guests going through with a discussion with me right here on Quest. And then another person, but Pastor Frank Davis and also Pastor Michael Nwagwa. And well, I will come back to you, Pastor Davis, and because, well, I love asking this question in all of it. Now, being a pastor, because, well, this is not a religious program per se, but I want to go to that. Now, what does the Bible say on this, dealing with an unappreciative partner?
Actually, the Bible does not appreciate that. Okay. Because the Bible says love each other. Appreciation is also a form of love. Love one another, which means it's expected to be a reciprocal thing. God loved us. He gave us Jesus. We expected to accept Jesus and love him. And so, Bible frown at it. So, in other words, I would say, if you are not appreciative to your partner, then you are committing sin.
Sin. Simple one on that. Well, Pastor Michael, you want to add still to watch?
Okay, 2 Timothy 3:2. One of the signs of the last days is men will be ungrateful, unthankful. Okay, so it reflects also in marriage. We shouldn't be unthankful. We shouldn't be ungrateful. 1 Peter 3:7, it says, in the same way, husbands, give honor to your wives and treat your wife with understanding as you live together. Okay, 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18, it says, giving thanks in all circumstances. And when it says giving thanks, it goes beyond just giving thanks to God. It x-rays your heart. Because if you have an appreciative heart, then you will say, God, thank you. The same way, if you have an appreciative heart, you'll be able to appreciate your fellow human being and thank them for whatever they do for you, be it your husband or your wife. So God endorses thanksgiving, endorses you being grateful, and that is what we should do.
Well, Pastor Frank Davis, I want to ask, because is sitting down and talking about this a means of resolving the problem? Can't you just sit your partner down and say, okay, dear, I really don't enjoy what you do. When I give this much, I would really want you to say, well, thank you. I really want, some people really don't know how to say thank you. We know. It's just like a character they have. But, there are other means of saying thank you. You can either come, hug the person, kiss the person, or you might even, in the night do more than usual. But what I'm saying indirectly is sitting down and talking about it a way to go through. In resolving the issue.
Yes, because communication is one of the greater things we should do in a relationship. And also how we communicate. Because if your partner is not saying thank you and instantly you react to it by demanding it, you wouldn't expect him to give it to you, especially if it's a male.
Okay, let me really get you. If, for example, your partner is not giving and you sit and demand, she might not really want to do.
No. Yeah. Because he doesn't have it and you are forcing it. So, but when you sit and communicate, you are trying to put it in his mind or her mind that if you say thank you, it will help me to do more. Okay. So why don't you? I understand probably when you were growing up, this is how you are used to, but because of my background, I also have a business partner like that. He will tell me, Franca, pick this thing for me. Franca, do that. When I do it, he won't say thank you. And one day I say, come on, I've noticed you don't say thank you. He said, oh, really? I didn't know, but it doesn't mean. I said, no, it means a lot. So the thing kept on until one day he noticed that, no, this lady is not really happy with what I'm doing. And I saw that after a while, I started saying thank you, because he has attitude problem.
Yeah.
And he's somebody that grew up on the street, so he was not really brought up on a home where mommy and daddy would say, what do you say, thank you? That kind of upbringing was not there. So you imagine that what the wife will be going through in his hands if the wife may be my type of person that will want you to say thank you.
Really appreciate
so such a person, you just have to sit him down or head down. But don't condemn the person, because if you condemn the person, you can never change, But rather, out of love, let a person understand why you will need him to say thank you for his own good. Let him know that, if you go outside, maybe somebody is admiring to do you good. If you say this little thank you, it will bring us good things in the home. In that way, you have put his interest also there. So he won't see that, you are really demanding thank you. Is it because of thank you are doing it for me? And also communication proper communication also matters. Not just communication, proper communication.
Well, I saw you shaking your head, Michael.
I'm following what she's saying. It's actually true, especially when she talked about the guy that grew up in the streets. You can't give what you don't have, so that person will naturally grow to become that kind of person. So if you understand somebody's background, it's going to make it easier for you. If you understand how your partner grew up, it might be easier for you to cope with the person. And then, like she said, communicate. But the communication should be effective, not just that you shout on the person and say, they tell person thank you. No, it may not work. You need to find the right time when the person is in the right mood. You need to communicate to the person with love. Talk about it. Pray about it. Then another thing I also recommend, expose your partner. You might, just like people have been exposed to this program today now, they probably have not seen any reason to be thankful, but they're being exposed, so they've heard another point of view, so hopefully it will touch them. So expose your partner. Listen to messages, seminars, books, and don't be critical. It's not like when pastor is preaching, some of them know they say thank you, now start saying, yes pastor, preach to them. You don't receive the message for the person. Expose the person so that both of you can grow and your marriage can turn out well.
But let me ask you now, because I asked you earlier on the show when we were on a bit of a break. Is this that sometimes while dating and doing courtship, we see this in some persons, but we ignore them? Because many a times you say, okay, well, what you bring sometimes in during courtship is what you take into the marriage. Is it that sometimes we see some unappreciative ways our partners behave, but we just tend to put in a black eye or blind eye?
It's possible. Some of us believe that once we get married, things will just change. The man that was cheating before marriage, once he just gets married, automatically the spirit, the anointing will just come upon you, will just change.
With the suit?
No, you get. So nothing changed. The person is still the person. Marriage does not change anything about an individual. Okay, so these things, when they happen before marriage, sometimes we turn a blind eye, we just let it go, say no me. Okay, and then of course, when we are still dating, sometimes you put your best foot forward, so you don't reveal all these things. So that's what may have happened. And of course, when people get married, there's nothing more to hide. You're just being yourself, being natural. So, but what we're saying is, keep working at it. Don't take your partner for granted.
Now, madam, let me come to you. I've seen many women that will say, over my dead body will I help that man. And they say it passionately. And when you ask them the reason for saying so, they'll give you reasons that even you might even be confused or supporting them taking a move. You see most of that happen. You're like, what my husband did. They might even tell you the very day, and even tell you the clothes he was wearing that very day, and tell you how he did it.
Where he was standing.
I know they'll tell you, and when you listen to it, yourself you'll be carried away in wanting to say yes. Because sometimes when you see pain, real raw pain, and all of this comes out from unappreciation, the man will never say well done, thank you. He even misuses that opportunity and put more pain in your life. What do you say to such women?
Thank you. You see, you don't blame such women, because we are all human beings. It's only God that doesn't get tired. We are all human beings. Like I said before, staying married and keeping your marriage is not for the weak-minded. And we just have to grow. When you see a woman that doesn't give a damn if the husband is appreciating or not, it's not because she doesn't feel it, but she has outgrown her emotions, you know, that she will allow the thing to get at her. So such a woman, you just have to encourage her. Ask yourself, the man is not appreciative, but do you really love him? Because if you allow the pain to get hold on you, the love that you say you have for him will begin to dwindle, you know, and that is where separation and divorce and all these things take place, because it's not just one day thing. It's an unhealed wound that over time degenerate and decay and turn up to another thing. So I will want to advise every woman out there to outgrow their emotions, no matter the attitude of ungratefulness your partner will show. Sometimes remember his good side and just overlook. Be a strong woman to keep your marriage.
Well, anyway, we'll not be overlooking the issues, but rather taking the calls and having your say. The lines are now open. The lines have been calling since we started the show, and I feel it's only right we do so. And well, anyway, I've not called the numbers. And okay, well, let's just take these, and I have to call the numbers all over so you can have a take on it. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. My name is Matthew, speaking from Bowase.
Well, Matthew, please go ahead.
Yeah, well, you see, it is a very relative question to answer. It's really because for me, in my family, what my wife does after giving her any gift, she goes privately in her room and prays, hey, God, thank you for using my husband to bless me. But for some husbands, you discover that that's what we are annoyed at. Why don't you say thank you? Thank you to me. Why if she is now committing you into the hands of the Lord, is that not greater than just ordinary thank you? So on the 20th of this month, my wife will be doing her bed. I have my mind of buying clothes for her. If I buy it for her, she tells me thank you. If she does not say thank you, then she goes into her private quiet time and commits me into the hands of the Lord. Is that not good enough? Don't forget that the Bible says, whatever your left hand does, don't allow your right hand to know. So is prayer first. Number one, is the woman praying for the husband? Is the husband praying for the wife? I think if this is done, we should forget all these material things. Let God bless such marriages. That's my take. Thank you.
Well, thank you also. Anyway, you finally added thank you. So, anyway, that's how it should be, though. Okay, let's take more calls and get more reactions, because that's what we're doing right here. Now, I just have to give the numbers. I know you're calling. I will have to give the numbers out, because I know a lot of persons will be willing and eager to join in on the show. It's 080-22-931-931, or you can reach us on 081-888-88931. Let's take the calls and get more reactions on this lovely edition of Mending Homes. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, morning to you. Your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Prince Amudu Agboganet Salvation.
Okay, Salvation, please go ahead.
Yeah, honestly, this program you people put on this morning is a very, very fantastic program.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I came from a family of which they don't appreciate. And appreciation matters a lot to me. Because salvation is Jesus, a great man of God, such like that, can be, appreciation can pay Jesus. Say, here are the nine. Success of we human beings that carry blood. For my family, if he buy car for person, go only lose the car, go say, Naka. Okay. We'll look towards it later. They'll walk away from you. But I see a certain appreciation right from when I say married. The woman I get married to, so my mother-in-law is the mother that born her. If you buy a short card of 100 naira, give this woman. If we call your phone off, today, oh, thank you for that thing. Tomorrow, oh, thank you for that thing. Next, so that thing because they motivate me to do more. And that's because they show me more sense. That if I buy something for you, you will not appreciate me. Tomorrow you won't see anything from me. So that is my thought. The only thing is that I find, in fact, question is my best of all, because all on a program always bring sense to me.
Well, thank you so much, sir.
God will uplift you people.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, anyways, it's a day of many thank you, but we're still taking it, and actually it's seen a need to be appreciative to the little things we get from our spouses. You know, this is what we keep saying, you know, a word of thank you, a word of appreciation brings more, but people seem not to understand. Yeah. And even in marriage, it makes you give more to your wife. It makes you feel she's an angel, she's the reason you are alive, she's the reason you are giving. It makes the wife feel like, I did not make a mistake in saying yes to this man. But I will not make a mistake because we're taking more calls and getting more reactions first. Okay, hello, good morning.
Good morning, Michael Gabadio.
Well, that must be definitely Pastor Afam.
Michael Gabadio, you too good. My voice does not change.
You tried, but anyway, do better next time.
I give it to you. Round of applause for you. For you.
Oh, thank you, sir. Yeah, go ahead.
For the person there, I must say thank you for throwing light in everything you've been discussing. But a quick one, let me say this. Yeah. You see, like the last speaker said, and Jesus said, where is the remaining 9? A word of appreciation is rare. It was because of lack of appreciation that was why God casted the devil out of his sight.
Of course. Because
he felt he knows too much, he has it all. In fact, I really do not have anything to contribute, but let me just say this because your resource is there. They've touched too many things as a matter of fact. Awesome you guys have done. But the truth is, not everybody appreciates. And what I want to make here, the point I want to make here is, let's see the two partners, a husband and a wife. Because by the grace of God, what are we doing? We are mending homes. Yeah. If the wife notices that the husband is not the appreciative type, wife, try to be appreciative. Let me tell you one good.
Do you feel it will change the other person?
It will, my brother. It will. It will. I give a very typical example. Michael and resource person, imagine you are driving on the road and somebody double crosses you unnecessarily or drives wrongly in front of you. When you greet the person smiling, well done, you can remove the person. You are making a mockery of the person. Instead of you to insult the person, when you insult the person, are you mad? There's something wrong with you. The reply that person will give to you will be times 3 what you get to the person. Now, imagine my career or my lady friend there. You are the wife, I am the husband. I do anything for you. For example, I buy you a cloth as a wife without you respect, please, and you do not appreciate me, and you receive it. The next thing I will tell you is, thank you for accepting it. I thought you would not like it to. Thank you. I don't push him for your body, whether you like it or not. I'm telling you the truth as a pastor.
It's true.
I buy you something else again. You did not tell me that, or you did not give me an appreciation. Oh, you will be thank you for accepting it. Without you knowing that one day she would ask herself, if my husband could appreciate me like this, what about if I appreciate him? In other words, when they do not appreciate you, appreciate them. The Bible speaking, it says, give thanks unto God all year long. That's what the Bible says. In everything, check the book of Psalms. It said in everything, give thanks to God. So when you give thanks a lot, or when you appreciate people that do not even appreciate you for what you have done for them, instead of them doing it to you in return, sir, you are creating a page. You are teaching them something. You are trying to lay a foundation to correct and refresh your memory. My name remains Pastor Afam. Thank you.
Well, thank you so very much. Well, a lovely one. I really enjoyed that discussion because, you know, sometimes you see some couples, the way they talk is so annoying. Hey, what have you done for me? What have you even done for my parents?
Yes.
Yeah. What have you? Who are you? What have you done? Do you know what my sister's husband or my brother's husband or my brother's, you know, it really annoys you and it makes you wonder, how, so this I've done is not enough? Wow. Anyway,
you see, Ray, poverty mentality can also make someone ungrateful. I'm not talking about poverty itself, the mentality.
Okay, of the
when
mind.
When people get into marriage with the mindset that my husband or my wife is going to solve my problem and our family problem, even if you buy a handkerchief for such a person, the next thing is, why not a cloth that my family members can use? Don't enter marriage with such a mindset. Because at the end of the day, you will never appreciate the little that the person, because you are expecting so much from your partner. These are some of the causes. Some people, we are in Africa. I believe that when we marry, we relate with each other's family. But deal with your partner as an individual, so that where his or her strength can reach, you'll be able to appreciate that. And also greed. People are greedy. No, there's nothing you will do that they will ever appreciate.
Even from a partner?
Yeah.
I think it's just about individuals. Just like Pastor Fam said, let's not stop being who we are. Let's keep thanking people, because that's the way to go. A lot of us have had bad experiences. Some of us don't even know how to say thank you, but let's not take people for granted. Let's not, because if somebody gives you any little thing, the person may have gone to great lengths to get it for you. So you now start saying, now just this common
coming from a person that you feel you love, sees your nakedness, so you relate.
I give you 10,000 for instance. I've gone through a lot to give that 10,000 because you are measuring me with the other person, maybe another family who the wife told you they give her 30,000. Now that's that this 10,000 if you give me that kind of thing. You know, once you have that kind of mindset, just like she said, poverty mentality, wrong attitude, you won't be able to appreciate people like that.
Okay, well, anyways, let's take the calls because we really appreciate our listeners and we want them to be a part of it. Hello, good morning. Okay, we seem to have lost that, but well, just do well to call. Immediately that is going on, that seems to be coming into contact. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you. Your name and where you calling from?
Yes, Christian, calling from Greenland.
Oh, Christian, please go ahead.
You see, let me first and foremost quote Dr. Samuel Johnson, and I quote, "Gratitude is a fruit of great cultivation. You do not find it among gross people." You see, a gross person is someone that is foul, someone that is crude, or very bad. So if we are not appreciative, then we are not yet refined. We are still unprocessed. So let's try at all times, especially in a marriage situation. Let's try to be appreciative. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you also, Kristen. You had a lovely response. Well, yeah, it shows all of that because if you can do this much to a partner and a person, saying a word of just 5 later words or just even just 5, or you cut it into 4, it does a great deal in letting that person understand you. Hello, good morning.
My brother, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, sir. Your name and where you calling from?
I'm Chief Solomon Ago from Uzora.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yes, I recommend this topic and this program.
No, thank you, sir.
Yes, appreciation really matters. Like I can say, I have somebody who doesn't appreciate. The more you do, the more you ask. He never tells you thank you. And it brings problem to the people every day. They come to my house to judge the matter for me every day. I see things myself. The man will say something that is good for the woman. He will buy it to the wife. The wife can never say, "Oh, my husband, thank you." Then I will say, "Okay, you can just keep it there." The man, so this is what I buy for you. I did not appreciate it. You don't even say thank you. You say, "I will wait." You say, "What carry your thing? Can't I go back?"
Imagine.
So you see all those kind of the man will say, "You want me to tell me?" So I never appreciate anything for once. I have called the woman severally. I said, "Why don't you appreciate your husband? If a man does anything small thing to you, please try to say thank you. If you make the man to do more for you, why are you doing this? If, for example, you as a woman, you go to market and you see the owner sponsor that you know that can fit your husband, you bought it for your husband. And the other will tell you, "Oh, man, thank you very much. This sponsor good, it's very fine." If you don't appreciate it, will you be happy? Because you people always want to be on top. If the man don't appreciate it, the man don't want it, then if the man touched him to you, he buy boss of 500 to the man or 700. The man don't appreciate it. Will he be happy? So my brother, the issue of appreciation matters a lot. Many women don't know how to do that. Now, I'm not saying because I'm a man.
Yeah.
Women are so fond of that. A woman cannot buy her husband when the husband will not appreciate it. It's very, very rare in the aspect of men. But women do not appreciate that. That is why I see that some men, when they see something that is good for their wife, they don't go for it. Because they don't appreciate it. So that is it, my brother. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, sir. Well, well, anyways, he made mention of a very straight point and could be true but painful. Because, so some people will say, "My husband doesn't give me anything." And When you dip into it, it's different. And just like how the men also, you see a woman that gives everything, washes your clothes, ensure the children are well fed, it's still thank you. I know it's her duty, but thank you is not bad. Yeah. It's not a hard word to say. It doesn't carry extra strength to say it. It's just a word.
I think it's not a gender thing. I think it's about
individual. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning, sir.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from, and please go ahead.
Yeah, this is Pastor Dan, calling from Nigeria.
Okay, go ahead, Pastor Dan.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank your resource persons for all they have said. I think they have said a lot.
Yeah, thank you, sir, Pastor Dan.
And but I want to still just ask the question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know this issue of appreciation, okay? There are some persons, okay? When you do good for them outside, when other people do for them outside, okay, they appreciate. But in their home, when their wife or maybe their husband do for them, they don't appreciate. How can a partner, let's say a husband or a wife, how do you cope with that kind of a partner?
Yeah, that's what we are trying to discuss here. You know, coping with them, it's hard. Let me just be frank with you. On the mind we are doing this program, sometimes it's hard. I'm just telling you the truth. It's hard.
No, but the thing is this, I understand the program very well now. I think we are looking at those who are that very sure they are not appreciating outside or inside.
Yeah.
But this one outside is appreciating. But
inside, he will not say thank you.
Familiarity. No, we're saying familiarity. You know, so you talk about it. Yeah, there are people like that. Lots of people like that. You know, they do good to people outside. Everybody's hailing them outside. This man is very nice, he's very good.
Literally do for him.
You understand?
But the wife will do more, story. And he will never say thank you.
And it's a sad reality that sometimes we treat our friends better than our spouses. Okay, and it's totally wrong.
Okay, let's take calls because it will not be wrong for us not to take or do not to have them call in. Hello, good morning.
Let me answer that last question that just came in now.
Okay, Pastor Abab, go ahead.
You see, marriage, make us speak pidgin English for you. Yeah, like when I preach with pidgin so that you can understand what they talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
Marriage, husband and wife, supposed to be best of friends. The question is this, Michael Ray. If we are not best of friends, there was a topic, or there was one of the topic you raised actually 3 weeks ago, your partner being your best friend or something. Yeah. If we are not best of friends, we cannot communicate. There are thank you that are said with the nursery, and there are thank you that are said from the mouth, but there is a thank you that comes from the inside of the heart. And take this money, make una take a bad place. Thank you. That's not thank you. Yes! So that my brother who said the women, no, let's not generalize to the women. The question is the husband and the wife. Are they best of friends? My friend, you could remember on Thursday, that thing I did on air was like a form, but you know so many persons that know record was like, that's what for your wife already, but that is what spices up the marriage. That is what spices up the union. Okay, if Jerusalem wrote no one for me that night before, it won't push it down.
Not true.
I want to say something here. One of our fathers in faith, let me quote him. Bishop Dr. Kingsley Nakiri, I greet him wherever he is. He said, in a wedding ceremony where he preached, and I was part of that ceremony, he said, as a man, when Jerusalem gate is open and you successfully go in and come out, why not kiss your wife at the forehead and say, thank you, I enjoyed what we just did. He said, appreciate your partner for anything. So when you are not in good condolence, when you are not in good class table, the person cannot appreciate you. The person will appreciate you with the nursery. Take for example, you pay your kid's school fees and your wife is not in good terms with you, or that the wife will not appreciate you well.
It's true.
Take for example, you bring money for food and whatever at home, and your wife is not in good terms with you, for some little things, she will not treat you well. There was a certain thing that happened between myself and my wife. We were just trying to have one or two discussions, and she just frowned. But guess what? Immediately I was able to just amend that thing. I knew I end. Immediately I amended it. Tally, the thank you came from the bottom of belly. So to that brother who asked that question, why can you appreciate some places outside?